Alright guys, welcome back. Now that we have the primitive blockout complete, we can move forward to adding minor details and things like that. So let's begin with the floor panel here. And let's start by selecting the surface, and we can right click and go down to create sketch. That's just a third option of creating a sketch. Now what I want to do is, this is going to be symmetric, so I want to create a line that goes right down the center so we have a center point. So we can use the line tool. Remember, the hotkey for that is L, and we can find the center point by basically, when you go down the center point, you'll see this little icon here that lets you know that this is the center point. So we can actually draw down, and you see we have that center line here that indicates a straight line. So we'll draw it from the top to the bottom, and now we can start working on either half of this. So let's create a 2-point rectangle, and let's start from the center line, and we'll just bring this down to the bottom left corner right there. And since we use that, we can right click, hit OK, and let's double click with the left mouse button on any edge here, so any line, to select the entirety. And we can hit Control C, Control V to duplicate that, and we'll just slide this down. And we'll just match the top line somewhere around here. Once we're satisfied, we can right click, hit OK. And now what I'll do is just slide this bottom line down, and you can select that by left clicking and dragging on the bottom line. So let's get rid of that. So that looks good. Now what we'll do is hit Control V once again, and we'll just paste this and drag it down here to match the bottom line. Right click, hit OK, and we'll just drag this bottom line up. So we'll grab this point here, drag it to match here. And we're just going to mirror this to the opposite side. So we'll go to Create, go to Mirror. We'll select the top, left, and bottom. Top, left, and bottom. And the bottom's already selected here, so I'll just select the top and side. But if you don't have the bottom line selected, you can do so. I had it selected before I chose the mirror, so that it chose it for me. In total, you should have 9 selected lines. And for the mirror line will be the center line. And that's why we don't have anything selected for the center. So we can just select here, and we have it mirrored to the other end. And we can trim the center line if we want to, but it's not necessary. So let's hold down Shift and select each of these profiles. We should have a total of 6. Now we can right click, press Pull, and if you go to the bottom here, for the second extrude, we have 1.8. So we can just type in 1.8, and the operation should be set to join. So let's hit OK. So if we turn off the canvas, we should have something like this. Just 3 extruded rectangular cutouts. Now what we want to do is turn back on that canvas. Let's go back to the front view, and now we're going to get the detail here on the center, the middle rectangular piece. So select the surface, go to Create Sketch by either going to the top, Create Sketch, the Create drop down, select Create Sketch, or you could always right click and go to Create Sketch that way. And from here, what I'd like to do is offset this, and we can use the hotkey O on the keyboard, or you could choose the icon above, and if you don't see offset here, hit the modify drop down and then select offset. Now we're just going to select the border, and we'll just drag this slider inwards so we have a nice offset here. Once we're satisfied, we'll right click, hit OK, and let's use our line tool once again, and remember the hotkey for that is L, and we'll just trace this from the top going down to the bottom, right click, hit OK, and we're going to select this line we just created, Control C, Control V, copy paste that, and we'll just slide this over to trace over this reference. Once you're satisfied, right click, hit OK, and we'll do the same to these 2 lines. So we'll use our line tool, go from top to bottom, right click, hit OK, and we could easily trace this down again, but instead I'll just Control C, Control V to duplicate this and paste it right about there. Now what I want to do is select these 3 pieces here to press pull. So I'll hold shift, select this profile, while holding shift, select the other two, right click, press pull. And what I want to do for this one is enter negative 1.8. So you see 1.8 extrudes it out, but we could also extrude it inwards. So we can add a negative value. So negative 1.8. It will bring it back, and we'll ensure the operation is on cut. Hit OK. Now if I turn off the canvas, you see we have some minor details here. And we want this to be nice and flat because this is going to make a big difference once we start to bring this into the game engine and also Substance Painter. So we're done with the floor panel. So let's do one more here. So we could either do the window or the wall panel. Let's just do the wall panel one just for some uniformity, and it's also number 1 here. So let's select this surface, go to create sketch. And what I like to do first is we can get some of this detail here. So let's use our line tool, and right where the center line is, we can easily do, actually we don't have to mirror this over, we'll just eye this since, you know, we have the reference here. Just gonna slide this over, bring this way, and we'll do the same for this shape here at the bottom. So we can use a 2-point rectangle from this top left corner to the bottom right, and then we'll switch over to the line tool, and we'll just follow this. Go down here, and we'll switch to the trim tool, and the hotkey for that is T, because there's some of you guys out there that love the hotkey. So let's right click, hit OK. And now what I like to do is hold shift and select both of these profiles, and we can press pull these by negative 1.8. Hit enter. Ensure it's on cut too, so we can get that nice cutout shape. That looks good. Now let's get the rest of this detail and we'll wrap this video up. So let's select this surface, go to create sketch. We're going to use the line tool. We're just going to follow this all the way through. Select this line, Control C, Control V, copy paste. We'll bring this down this way. Right click, hit OK. And now what I want to do is finish sketch. And I'm going to create a pipe out of these 2 lines. And it's specific that I didn't add these other 2 lines here on the same sketch, because we're going to go to the create drop down and select pipe. And I'm going to select this line. I don't know if I can select this one as well. I think I have to do them one at a time. And now if you go to the bottom, we have parameters that we can put in for the pipe, which is 1.9 millimeters. So we'll just type in 1.9, and the operation is on cut, and we could change that to new body, and let's hit OK. So now that we have this here, what we can do is duplicate this. So we'll hit the bodies drop down if it isn't already dropped down. Select this body 13, which is that pipe. Control C, Control V to copy paste that. And we'll just drag this to match the reference here. Hit OK. And now we'll combine this to create a nice Boolean effect, which will initially just cut this shape out. So let's hit the modify drop down, go to split body, or we can go to combine. Let's go to combine. Select this body here for the target body, and for the tool bodies will be this pipe and this pipe. Let's change the operation from join to cut. Hit OK. And quickly you'll see, if I turn off this canvas, you see a bit better that we have this nice little pattern cut through here. And that's exactly what we're looking for. So we'll do the same for the rest of the reference here on the center. So we'll select the surface, create sketch, use our line tool, and we'll just draw down. We'll see this, and we can either Control C, Control V to paste this, or we could just draw another line. Doesn't really matter. So this looks good here. I'm satisfied. So I'll right click, hit OK, hit L to go back to the line tool, and I'll just follow this down. Hit this right here. Then I'll switch back to the trim tool and I'll trim off this centerpiece. Now we can finish sketch and we can create a pipe once again. So create pipe. I'll select this and it's already at 1.9, so I'll hit cut. I'll hit the sketch drop down so we can toggle back on that previous sketch so we can see this line here. So let's go to create pipe once again, select this line. It's already on 1.9. The operation is on cut already, so we'll hit OK. Now we'll toggle back off this sketch because we no longer need it. So you see we have this shape. Now lastly, we need to get these little rectangular cutout pieces. So to do that, we'll go to create sketch, select our surface, use our 2-point rectangle, and the hotkey for that is R. And we'll just start to trace this. And what I'll do is double click any of these lines to select the entire profile, Control C, Control V to copy paste it, and we'll just slide this down here to match this reference. And I'm middle mouse scrolling to zoom in. Now what I can do is shift select both of those profiles. I'll go back to the top. While holding down shift, I'll select the other two. Now we should have 4 profiles selected. Now what I want to do is right click, press pull, and I want to pull these back some, and I can pull this to match this reference if I want. So I just selected this surface. Now the operation is on cut, so I can hit OK. Now I have that nice cutout shape. And one more thing that I will do is I'll extrude this bottom half out so it adds a little bit more diversity. So I'll select this surface, go to create sketch, and I'll draw a line going all the way horizontally through this. I'll select this surface, right click, press pull, and then I'll press pull this by, I don't have to do too much. I could do 1.8 like I've been doing, but instead I'll just bring this out a little bit. So 0.7 should be fine. The operation is on join, so we can hit OK. And we're actually done with this portion of the video, so let's toggle off the canvas and see what we've done so far. So we've finished these two shapes, and we added that detail that we need. And that looks really good. And this is going to come to life really once we get to the Substance Painter portion and start to add materials to this. So this looks good, and I'll catch you guys in the next video.